What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Two guys, one mic. Looking a little different this week because we've had some technical difficulties. We tried 2 days in a row to get the podcast up. We had a great show the first night. The computer ran out of storage. We had a good discussion the next night between me and Josh. And again, the computer messed up and ran out of storage. So I'm going to do a quick little rundown, try to get everything going. Hopefully I can get this up and running for us. So, going back 2 weeks ago, we had week 16, and Josh and I went 10-6. Mike went 11-5. That put Josh at a 60% win percentage, Mike at 59, and me at 53. Like I said, it's going to be a quick one, so there won't be a lot of discussion, but we had some good discussions yesterday about last week, about calls and games and disappointments here and there, surprises. But with just me, it'll be hard to do that. So I'm just gonna run through these real quick, get our pick'ems in, get like what we think is gonna happen for the playoffs. And then last week we all went 12-4, so we had a good week. We all went 12-4. So Josh is at 156 and 100. Mike's at 147 and 97. I'm at 141 and 115. Mike and Josh are tied with a 60% win percentage, and I have bumped up to a 55%, so I'm still trailing. Lots of scenarios right now to try to get these last few spots in the playoffs sealed up. It's crazy. We're trying to get certain scenarios run down. There's a chance that all three of our teams make it into the playoffs, which is crazy. But currently, Josh and I are looking to try to get Buffalo, Indy, and Pittsburgh into the playoffs, and Mike's not exactly on with all three of those teams, but a couple of them he is. So we'll run through this week's pick'ems. Currently, it is Saturday at 11, so the Colts and Texans are currently playing. Pittsburgh has already won, which is step one in the process of getting into the playoffs. So between the Steelers and the Ravens, we all went with the Steelers. We all picked the Steelers. And that is what happened, so that was good. And like I said, this next game, Josh and I are pulling for the Colts to win the South, so we're going with the Colts. There's about just under 2 minutes left. They just got into the red zone. They're down 23-17, so it's a nail-biter. It's exciting. Josh and I went with the Colts. Mike's gone with the Texans. The next game is the Browns and the Bengals. There's not a lot to play for. Browns already sealed up their playoff spot. They're the 5th seed. So we all decided the Bengals are going to take them because the Browns they're not really playing for much right now. Then the Vikings and the Lions. Josh went with the Lions. Mike and I went with the Vikings. There's a chance, an outside chance, they're going to need a lot of help that the Vikings make the playoffs. So my thing for my daughter, who is a big Vikings fan, is I would like them to get in the playoffs. So you'll see my picks kind of go along with getting the Vikings in the playoffs. But I wouldn't be upset if the Packers. It would be cool if the Packers made it into all three of our teams could possibly get in if the Steelers have things run the way they need to. The next game is the Jags and Titans. As I said, Josh and I are looking for the Colts to take that South seed and the Steelers to get in. And in order for that to be the case, the Jaguars have to lose. So Josh and I are going with the Titans. However, Mike is going with the Jags. The next game is the Jets and the Patriots. We all went with the Patriots, and I have a feeling this will be Bill Belichick's last game as a Patriots head coach. He will either retire or they will part ways mutually. But I feel this will be his last game with the Pats. So they'll go out on a high note from him. Then we have the Falcons and Saints. In order for Josh's Packers to still make the playoffs, even if they lose, the Saints must lose. So, and for the Vikings to make it, the Saints have to lose as well. So, Josh and I are both going with the Falcons. Mike's going with the Saints. Then we all think the South will be won by the Bucs this year. So when the Bucs-Panthers play, we all clean swept the Bucs, took them to win the South. This is where it comes to Green Bay game. Obviously, Josh is going to Green Bay. Mike and I both actually feel like the Bears will win this game. Like I said, there is still a chance the Packers can get in even with a loss, but also it helps set up Ella's Vikings to get in there. So I went that way too. The next game we had are the Broncos and Raiders, and Mike and Josh are on the Raiders. I picked the Broncos originally, so I'm going to stay with them. They were my backup in case the Steelers lost. There was a scenario where if the Broncos won, the Steelers could still get in. So since that's what I went with originally, I will stay with that. But now it doesn't matter. The Steelers won. The next game we have is the Giants and Eagles, and we all picked the Eagles. They're still fighting. There's still a chance for them to get a 2 seed. Most likely they will not. They will probably end up being the 5 seed. But they will still play. They're going against the Giants, so we all went with the Eagles. The next game is the Seahawks and Cardinals. Again, for the Packers and the Vikings to either one of them get into the playoffs. If the Packers lose, or for the Vikings to get in the playoffs, they need the Seahawks to lose. So Josh and I both went with the Cardinals, and Mike's going with the Seahawks. He's picking them for the playoffs. Then we have the Chiefs, who are sitting their starters, going against the Chargers. The Chiefs are already locked up the 3rd seed. They don't really have much to go for. The Chargers just want to end on a high note. Josh is still going with the Chiefs. Mike and I are going with the Chargers. They need something to feel better about this season because it was a disastrous season. Then our next game is the 49ers and the Rams. Now these two teams are already locked into the playoffs. They will not be playing starters. This will be like a JV game. Josh and I both have decided that the 49ers have more depth, so that we are picking the 49ers. Mike is going with the Rams. The next game is the Commanders and the Cowboys. Again, the Cowboys with a victory can lock in the East and get their 2 seed. So we have gone with the Cowboys, Mike and I. Josh is hoping that there's a scenario where the Cowboys and Packers can both make the playoffs and meet in the championship game. So he's going with the Commanders, and therefore putting the Cowboys into the 5th seed, so that there's a chance where they will meet in the NFC championship game. Which brings us to tomorrow night's game, the Bills and the Dolphins. As I said, Josh and I are trying to get the Bills in there. And in order for that to be a case, they need to win. Win and they're in. Win and they'll take over the East. So Josh and I are going with the Bills. Mike is also going with the Bills. The Dolphins they don't show that they can play with good teams. So he's riding with us on the Bills, and we'll get them into the playoffs. So, with that being said, quick little rundown. We'll go through our how our playoffs would shake out. Josh, in the pick'ems he's gone with, would have the Ravens 1 in the AFC. Ravens 1, Bills 2, Chiefs 3, Colts 4, Browns 5, Miami 6, Steelers 7. Mike's AFC is the Ravens 1, Bills 2, Chiefs 3, Jags 4, the Browns 5, Miami 6, and the Texans 7. And I have the same as Josh. I have Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Colts, Browns, Miami, Pittsburgh. On to the NFC side we go. The way we currently have it picked, Josh has it as the 49ers, the Eagles, the Lions, and the Bucks, with the Cowboys, Rams, and Packers as the final 3 wild cards. Mike has it as the it looks like the Texans have won. The Texans have won. So Josh and I are both wrong with our Colts pick, but Mike has it in the NFC as the Niners, Cowboys, Lions, Bucks, Eagles, Rams, and Seahawks. So it'll be an interesting week, a good week. We're getting hit with snow up here, pounded with some snow. They're supposed to get quite a bit, so no better way to be spending your snowed-in Sunday than to watch playoffs and see what happens. So Just looking here, that the winner of tonight could be the AFC Championship if Jacksonville loses. So the Texans could be the South champions if the Titans can beat the Jags tomorrow. And if that happens, the Steelers and the Texans are in. The Texans have now locked up a playoff spot. The Colts have been eliminated. The Texans just took a safety. Doesn't matter. They're still going to win 23-19. But I guess there's still 1 second on the clock. It could be a crazy punt return for a touchdown, and the Colts could still win this. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, it'll be an exciting week of down to the crunch time to see who can fill those final spots. So, hopefully next week we're back together. If we're not in person, we are remotely. Hopefully I got my computer issues figured out and we can do this again. But for one more week, that's 2 guys, 1 mic. So in the words of Josh, let's go. Peace.